It's my great pleasure to kick off this evening as we celebrate the inaugural Torero Ventures Catalyzer and all of the hard work that has gone into this program up to this point. This evening, our catalysts will be sharing the sustainable ventures they have been working so hard on over the past months in interdisciplinary teams with their mentors. As both graduate and undergraduate students at USD, we understand just how much responsible entrepreneurship can impact the world around us. That is why having the opportunity to take part in programs like the Torero Ventures Catalyzer are so impactful as we prepare to expand our reach and apply our business education to our surroundings, where we have the need to use business to create positive change at a time when there is so much to do. In its unique design, the Torero Ventures Catalyzer has given students the opportunity to combine the resources of the classroom with a consultative approach as they work with mentors who are highly regarded at the University of San Diego and San Diego's business community. These mentors have been instrumental in the course and are truly appreciated by the students. Our partners include USD's Brink at the Small Business Development Corporation led by Misty Rusk. They have been assisting students' teams as they go out in the field to work with potential customers. The Catalyzer is led by the faculty director, Dr. Priya Kannan, who is uniquely positioned to help young entrepreneurs. Dr. Priya is a highly respected scholar in the field of innovation and entrepreneurship and has been studying, publishing about entrepreneurs and new ventures for over 15 years. She is also a highly respected academic and has been published in practitioner journals. The support from Dr. Priya and mentors has helped to advance the students' projects by using a dynamic approach to business modeling while also focusing on sustainability from the start. We are excited to share the projects that the Catalysts have been working so hard on over the course of the past few months and in some cases years. I know the students appreciate the opportunity they have had in this course. As a graduate assistant and former student of Dr. Priya's, I can attest to how much Professor Priya's comprehensive approach to both sustainability and entrepreneurship has truly changed my idea of purposeful capitalism and how great of an impact it can have in changing the lives of others. It is this concept that is the underlying idea behind the project that has brought us all here tonight. Of course, none of this is possible without the support of our Dean Jaime Alonso Gomez, whose mantra is education with purpose with a focus on sustainable businesses. It is my pleasure to introduce Dean Gomez, who will speak about the Torero Ventures Catalyzer and its role in shaping the future of entrepreneurship program for our business school. It is my pleasure to also introduce Dr. Andy Allen.
Thanks so much for being here. So my role at the university is to implement our strategic plan. And so it's called Envisioning 2024. And as a part of that plan, we have a fund of money that we've put out for students, faculty, staff to apply for, and with their entrepreneurial ideas about how they can make the world better from whatever perspective that they have, whether it's the world here at USD or the outside world. And so we launched this fund about a year ago. And that's when Priya first came by to me with this twinkle in her eye with this idea. And so I saw before it was in its very creation. So here we are a year later, seeing exactly what this dream turned out to be. And it's so exciting to see all the students with such great ideas. This is what we're trying to do with these funds, is try to get things started at USD, and let's do some really creative things that normally don't happen at a university because all the money's tied up doing all these different things. And so we have a great opportunity here to launch the ideas of our students, get them started, and really change the world. So really happy to be here. So happy for Priya with her idea. And this is just one of 12 ideas that we funded last year. And so this kind of stuff is going to be spreading this year. The fund renews every year. And so we have 31 proposals I'm looking at right now for this year. So this is the kind of things we're trying to do at USC, where let's create some excitement by getting some ideas started all across campus, whether they're from students, faculty, or staff. So we're all part of this great project. So thank you. Love these ideas.
So thank you, Dr. Allen. I now call upon Staff Karras, the Executive Director of the Burnham Moores Center for Real Estate. Just as our student teams have mentors, Dr. Priya refers to Staff Karras as her mentor for starting the Catalyzer. Mr. Karras has extensive experience in entrepreneurship and is also an angel investor for the V2 competition. He has been very active in the San Diego community, where he currently serves as the chairman of Connect, serves as the co-chair of Lead San Diego, and serves on the board for the San Diego Regional EDC.
Thank you very much. I should say that 2 weeks ago, I passed the gavel on both those organizations. So I have some free time, and someone said, "Does that mean you're now going to travel the world?" I says, "No, it now means I won't be on my computer from 6 at night till 10:30 at night." So I just want to just to say a couple words. First of all, I want to recognize all the young entrepreneurs out there. I've had a chance to see your ideas early on and see the development of the thought process, and to take the feedback from the many individuals that have been helping you, both mentors and some of the judges, and to see how you've taken that input and either redesigned the product or taken a slightly different pivot to increase, I think, your probability of success. And I just want to give you all a round of applause for great thoughts and ideas. And in innovation, I'm a believer that you don't teach innovation. That people come with that innovative gene, and our job and Priya's job is to take those individuals that are natural innovators and to help them on their journey to take that dream and that idea and turn it into a commercial application. And as we look around the room here, I think we see very good examples of applications that I think have some great commercial potential. And Priya, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for being so persistent in your effort. I actually we do these behavioral assessments, and some of you I think have taken them out there. And I had the opportunity to do one of Priya, and she is highly entrepreneurial. And I said, "This is just the person that needs to be running this." And I know, is Misty out there somewhere? There's Misty back there, also very highly entrepreneurial. So you get these highly entrepreneurial individuals, and they just want to get stuff done, and they're doing it. So congratulations.
Hi, everybody. I'm Janera. In case you were wondering who's been blasting you with emails, that's me. Hello. I'd like to share with you the students' perspective about how this program has helped us shift from thinker to doer. Before I get into that, let me first start by explaining how I got here. I have always been an entrepreneur at heart. As a little girl, I started a dozen businesses, painting addresses on curbs, house sitting, and mowing lawns. The list goes on, and this spirit of entrepreneurship has only grown with time. And my feeling is that if you're in this room, chances are you feel that burn too. I decided 2 years ago to return to school and learn to run my own business. What better place than USD's Graduate Business School? I knew that I could develop my business acumen, create a robust network, and nurture that entrepreneurial passion. I jumped in headfirst to experience everything that this university has to offer. I participated in the Social Innovation Challenge, the V2 pitch competition, and I attended workshops, lectures, and idea labs. I learned to develop a business plan, create a pitch deck, and face my number one fear of public speaking. I honed my business management skills in class, but there was still a disconnect. I could create a solid business plan and I could pitch it. I could also run it, but how do I get it up and running? How would I bridge that gap and go from idea to launch? And that's when I had a conversation with Professor Priya. I decided to take this class in addition to my full-time course load. And this class is not just theory, it's application. It's testing assumptions and being comfortable failing forward. This class addresses the entrepreneur's ego from the start and makes sure you can humble yourself and put your money where your mouth is. This class forces you to ask yourself, do I have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? This semester, I've been mentored in the holistic approach to building a business. I felt a sense of camaraderie with my classmates as we took this journey together. We would like to share our experience with you. We've each created a 3-minute video that takes you through our individual project and the blood and the sweat and the progress we made. Watch how our business model canvas changes, about how we failed forward. So make yourselves comfortable, enjoy the refreshments, and take a look at what we did this semester.
Our names are Molly, Indira, Christina, and Annie, and we are the women of Her Hub. Her Hub came about when the four of us were discussing recent sexual harassment lawsuits brought against Uber. All of us had stories of an uneasy rideshare experience, so it motivated us to do some digging. Did you know that as of 2018, there have been 103 known cases of sexual assault by an Uber driver? Neither had we. This got us thinking. Are women struggling to maintain their safety in day-to-day activities? And what could we possibly do to help? And this is how Her Hub came about. An app-based rideshare system aimed at delivering safety for female passengers and their female drivers. In addition to the rideshare service and providing more jobs for women, Her Hub will serve as a communication platform for its drivers and passengers. After 57 in-person interviews with potential customers and drivers, and over 60 hours of cumulative research, we have been able to whittle down the core values of Her Hub: safety, equality, and prosperity. Our initial hypothesis was that women need a women-focused application solution specifically for their transportation and household needs, such as plumbing and handiwork. We began our process by interviewing over 30 potential customers. After getting over the awkwardness of approaching strangers, we came to a couple of realizations. First, it became clear that women did not need women for household services, but could benefit from a communication platform that allowed sharing recommendations. Second, it became clear to us that safety is an issue to women. However, women ages 18 to 35 are less proactive and more reactive to safety concerns, whereas women ages 50 and above are more methodical about their safety, but are in need of a simple, easy-to-use solution. We also realized that women are not willing to pay more than 10% for a service than for an Uber or Lyft, meaning we must scale accordingly. After ensuring that the need for Her Hub exists, and after researching our competitors, we wanted to make sure that our app is efficient and easy to use for both drivers and passengers. We interviewed 13 female Uber or Lyft drivers and 9 more potential customers, gaining their feedback and recommendations on our initial prototype. Now that we have made the necessary pivots and revisions from Canvas 1 to 4, we have a much clearer understanding of what our potential customers value and the direction we need to go to provide value at a competitive price. Thank you. We invite our audience to try the app and experience female camaraderie and efficiency with Her Hub.
Welcome to ParkSwap, the most disruptive technology to the parking industry since white lines. Now, before we dive in, a little about me. I can break my life down into 3 basic parts so far. The first, I spent as a professional snowboarder on the World Snowboard Tour. Upon retirement, I decided to go back to school and get my MBA, which landed me here at University of San Diego. Currently, I'm a tech banker at Silicon Valley Bank on their disruptive tech team, and I help fund some of the most exciting technology companies in the world. And now, back to the innovation. ParkSwap is a point-based parking solution that allows users to swap both private and public parking spaces in areas where parking is impacted. The best part? It's free to use. The network of users is accessed through a mobile app on your smartphone, which will have a familiar interface similar to that of Uber and Lyft. Users looking to park in certain areas will hit the Find Spot button, and the algorithm will quickly connect them with a user who is in the process of vacating a parking spot. Each user will then receive the other car's info, make, model, and color, and real-time GPS map tracking. The user searching for a spot will then make their way to the parked user and follow the illustrated ParkSwap procedure. Now, although this concept sounds simple, it is. ParkSwap's success is predicated heavily on one theory: people are selfish. What I mean by this is that people love to use systems that benefit them in their time of need, but would very rarely use a system to help another driver if they saw no direct benefit. Luckily, ParkSwap accounts for this very predictable human condition and even uses it to the system's advantage. How? Points. In order to use the parking network when searching for a spot, your time of need, A user must also participate when vacating spots, another user's time of need. Upon downloading ParkSwap, each user will receive 9 points as an initial buffer. It will cost 3 points each time they receive a parking spot, and they will earn 3 points each time they give a spot. So in essence, they're not just transferring the spot, but also valuable points. Revenue will ultimately be generated through ad tech, incentivized sponsorship, data mining, and partnerships. This is ParkSwap, a new way of dramatically decreasing the burden, time, and carbon emissions associated with finding fast and free parking. It might even make you on time. Now, although there's a long list of things we could talk about the change between Business Model Canvas version 1 and 4, I want to hone in on what's most important, the value proposition. I really think that the customer discovery phase of this class helped us condense down and get a much more bulletproof value prop, which I know is an absolute must from sitting on the funding side of technology startup discussions. Another thing that I think went great is we opened up our customer segment to all legal drivers, because there really was no reason we should have been targeting some specific type of customer. With $200,000 in startup capital already raised, ParkSwap is looking for investors that bring a strategic advantage to the company. Thank you and happy parking.
Have you ever thought about how far your food travels to get to your table? Have you considered growing your own food at home? What about in outer space? Hi everyone, we're Salads on Saturn, a specialized home aquaponics service team. What is aquaponics? It's a sustainable agricultural system where food is grown without the use of soil or pesticides. The roots of the plant sit in water instead, where they are fertilized with fish waste. Salads on Saturn is a simple home-growing system that promotes environmentally sustainable and healthier food that makes users feel good about their food source. The Salads on Saturn team consists of the founders, Stephanie Casola, Peter Costantino, and Laia Sanchez. We are aiming to take small steps to help solve the inherent environmental damage from conventional agriculture and food traveling long distances to get to the table. The world's population is growing at an exponential rate and is predicted to be at 9 billion by 2050. In order to feed all of these mouths, global food production will have to increase by 70%. In addition, the average meal in America has traveled 4,200 miles to get to the table. We believe that aquaponics will be a big part of the solution, which is why we started this business. During the semester, we did 35 interviews with gardeners, grocery shoppers, San Diegans, and spent 88 hours with our mentors researching and building our prototype, including driving around, finding the parts, assembling them, and troubleshooting. Building the prototype was our biggest learning experience and accomplishment. We learned everything from what type of fish will work best and reproduce in captivity, which plants will thrive the best in such a system, what kind of yield to expect based on the size of the system, what kind of tray works best, as well as whether or not LED lights are a necessity in an indoor setup if there's ample natural light. We started to question if our system would be able to produce enough volume of vegetables in order to actually provide enough food to justify the investment. We realized that in order to produce enough yield that we would have to increase the size of the system, meaning a bigger tank, more fish, and more plants. We also realized that the right system would be difficult to standardize as it would depend on the customer's space as well as their growing goals. A one-size-fits-all system wouldn't work as well and would be quite difficult to manufacture and ship from a logistical standpoint. In addition, we learned from our competitive analysis that there are already a few companies doing exactly that, so we knew we'd have to find a way to differentiate ourselves. This led us to pivot our business model from a product to a service. We decided we would focus on building custom systems locally in San Diego. It became evident that we had discovered a new problem. It is difficult and time-consuming to grow food at home, even with a simple system like aquaponics. If it was so hard on us, we soon would be even harder for the general population without the same knowledge and experience that we've acquired over the past few months. The solution will be to use our knowledge to consult with potential customers and build them a custom system that is perfect for their home and their needs. We are the solution to the new problem. We would love for you to join us on our quest for creating a stronger, sustainable agriculture community in San Diego. Please come and check out our booth. We're giving away free aquaponics advice.
Hi, my name is Chris, and I'm the co-founder behind the cutlery design brand, Alexandrine & Cass. Alexandrine & Cass was founded in Detroit by myself and my co-founder, Harrison. Harrison and I's strong passion for product design and cooking were the impetus that led to Alexandrine & Cass and to our launch product, an 8-inch chef's knife. Our 8-inch chef's knife epitomizes who Alexandrine & Cass is as a core brand, which include premium design, provenance, and giving back. Our 8-inch chef's knife uses a full tank construction, real olive wood handle, unique signature curved heel, and a red liner amongst the handle. Provenance. Our knives are all made in Spain and giving back. At Alexandrian Cast, we believe in giving back to our local communities, and that's why we're excited to announce a partnership with Gleaners Food Bank, whose mission is to provide at-risk children and families food in the Detroit metro area. Over the past 4 months, our primary goals included launching a second knife during the winter holidays and continue to develop our customer segment. After months of research, we concluded that a 3.5-inch paring knife would best complement our chef's knife as we continue to expand our product portfolio. The next step was to design our paring knife leveraging our existing core values. These values resulted in a full tank construction, real olive wood handle, curved heel, and red liner. After we received our prototype, we immediately began conducting surveys. Most interviewees agreed that they loved the design, weight, and performance, but many commented that the handle was too thin and our signature curved heel was too sharp. This feedback brought us back to the drawing board, where we redesigned our paring knife while collaborating with our Spanish supplier. This resulted in an increased handle width of 1 millimeter and sanding down the point of our curved heel. These amendments readied us to be able to begin selling our paring knife alongside our chef's knife. Another goal of ours was to continue to develop our customer segment by better defining our customer archetype. 4 months ago, we had little insight about who our customer was, where they lived, and what compelled them to buy an Alexandrian cast knife. In order to better answer this question, we ran multiple Facebook ads and Instagram posts. The result of these ads and social media publications helped further define our customer archetype, who was male between the ages of 23 to 55, valued a unique brand telling a captivating story, and lived in a large metropolitan city. Another customer segment we've been pursuing were chefs. However, during this discovery stage, we realized that we shouldn't be targeting the individual chefs, but instead the restaurants. This B2B pivot diversifies Alexandrian Cast heading into 2019, where we not only continue to sell amazing chef's knives to the retail consumer, but also customized steak knives targeting trendy restaurants in both San Diego and Detroit.
My problem with puppy pads began after realizing what little value I was getting for the cost I was paying. As I walked up and down the aisles of Petco, I thought about how much I was willing to pay for a puppy pad. The answer was not very much, since I did not feel that they were worth very much. Most are listed around $54 for a pack of 200. For that price, I could easily have put down newspaper in my apartment. After purchasing cheaper yet lower in quality pads, I thought about the many flaws with the puppy pad design. I thought about all the mornings I was late to class due to having to wipe the floor up after the pea-soaked pad did not do its job. I thought about how many paper towels and garbage bags I was wasting just trying to clean up after something whose intended purpose was to prevent stains on the floor. It would have been so much easier if I could just quickly grab the puppy pad off the floor and dispose of it in the trash without having to touch it with my hands or clean up pee that had run off onto the hardwood floor. I'm Lauren Schweitzer, and I'm the CEO and founder of Easy Pooch Pads. The Easy Pooch Pad was born after realizing that if I could just pull the puppy pad into a little trash bag while also preventing pee from even reaching the floor via leaking off the sides, my problems would be solved. I quickly filed a patent application just so the idea would be secure, but that was all I had, just an idea. I thought about the millions of other puppy pad users who must be having the same frustrations I was. In the United States, out of 72.9 million pet-owning households, 46.3 million are dog-owning households. Moreover, it is expected that by the end of 2018, there will have been $72.13 billion spent on pet supplies, and this number has steadily risen over the past 24 years. Puppy pads are not only used for house training puppies, but also for older dogs, smaller dogs, people who have busy schedules, the elderly and disabled, and people who live in condos or apartments. Most puppy pads are all generally the same, with only significant differences in products with extra layers, odor reduction, the line of real grass pads, and one pop-up fire hydrant puppy pad. There was nothing that actually made the cleanup process easier. Even the Brilliant Pad, a self-cleaning puppy pad, does not prevent pee from falling off the side of the machine and onto your floor. My first value proposition in my first business model canvas was an attractive, super easy to use, no mess training pad for puppies and dogs. I was convinced that everyone hated puppy pads just as much as I did, and I would be the one to change that. After conducting more than 30 interviews, including general dog owners, puppy pad users, and managers at Petco, I discovered that people were either avid puppy pad users or avid puppy pad haters. Many people refused to even try puppy pads because they dreaded the mess involved with them. Others were current users, but were frustrated at the lack of eco-friendliness of them. Overall, I learned that I needed to focus on the functionality of the product and show the competitive advantage of Easy Pooch Pad. I had originally focused on trying to convert more people into using pads by trying to make them more attractive, come in different scents, etc. This was my first aha moment. I needed to focus on the main selling point of Easy Pooch Pad. It's a puppy pad that doubles as a trash bag. After creating a functioning prototype, I revised my business model again. This time, my value proposition was a pulled-together puppy pad that protects your hands and your floor. My biggest achievement was creating the prototype. It took me months to finally make a functioning prototype. Everything felt more tangible after being able to produce and reproduce a prototype that worked and was not just an example. I focused on creating relationships with retailers and knowing my user as my key activities. I would try to incorporate a way to make them eco-friendly as I had seen the consumer demand for such. Now, I'm looking for someone to be a partner in this business in order to scale this up and help me fund this to get them mass-produced and create relationships with retailers like Petco to get them on the shelves. Come find me at the demo table.
As parents, we want to give our children a good foundation, and this starts with healthy food. Today, our schedules are busier than ever. We are living in a high-stress world with rising health problems. In our hectic schedules, we still have to find time to pack and prepare meals for our children in order to provide them with healthy lunches for school. Mango is here to solve these problems. We are a team of highly motivated MBA students who want to create a healthier generation by connecting children with healthy meals. We created a simple model where wholesome, tasty school lunches are ordered quickly from our website. The meals are prepared by talented chefs and dietitians and are delivered straight to your door. All you have to do is simply heat up the meals for your child as they leave for school in the morning, and they will have a perfectly balanced meal ready for lunch. How convenient is that?
Mango Foods provides healthy and competitively priced meals. Looking at San Diego County alone, there are over 550,000 children, and with 180 school days in a year, creating an annual market of over 700 million.
Arriving at our current model was not easy. Our initial idea was to establish a meal service that would deliver these meals directly to schools at lunchtime. We partnered with a UX mentor and a registered dietitian to give us professional advice. To test our initial model, we got out of the classroom and into the field. We interviewed 50 parents, 30 students, and numerous schools and teachers. Quickly, we found that parents loved Mango. However, schools were not so welcoming. Schools presented too many barriers to entry, so we came up with a different strategy. Mango Foods will deliver directly to your home. To figure out the frequency of delivery and overall costs involved, we conducted a week-long test trial, delivering over 40 meals to 8 children. This gave us the opportunity to receive some quality feedback from potential customers. It also helped us develop a low-cost operational model with a weekly delivery.
Mango is not just a company, but a lifestyle of eating healthy, being healthy, and creating a better lifestyle for future generations. Let us take the hassle and stress out of preparing your child's daily meals, and you can use this time to create lasting memories with your family.
Join the Mango Revolution by liking us on Facebook today.
My name is Jordan O'Hara, and my company is Wind and Sea Coffee. You've probably noticed there's no D in Wind and Sea, and you would be correct, because we took out the D and replaced it with something better. Let me explain. After a training incident sidelined my career in the Navy, I discovered the healing properties of MCT and other plant-based medicines. I was in a dark place after my injury. Physically, my body was broken, and the uncertainty of losing my job took an immense psychological toll. Like most other injured service members, I was prescribed a smorgasbord of pharmaceutical treatments with varying success and a host of unwanted side effects. Every day, 22 veterans take their own lives. 25 million Americans suffer from daily pain, and there are over 600 million immediately addressable people with opioid prescriptions. Veterans are twice as likely as the rest of the population to die from an opioid overdose. Now that I've thoroughly depressed you, let me tell you there is hope. At Wind and Sea, we make premium MCT-infused coffee beans that will capture your morning zen and change the way we deal with pain. It's not a coincidence that Coke, Constellation, and the FDA are investing billions in MCT-infused drinks and medications. Wind & Sea Coffee is an early adopter in the industry with a focus on MCT for action sport athletes, military, and anyone dealing with annoying pain or anxiety. We spent over 70 hours and 100 interviews perfecting the recipe, designing a prototype, and bringing the product to market. With your support, I will bring it to the world. Wind & Sea began as a solution so I wouldn't forget to take MCT for my own aches and pains. After months of research and development, it became a vehicle to change Americans' relationship to pain and to MCT in general. No more gross oils you put under your tongue or vials that sit in your medicine cabinet. Get it done while you sip your morning Joe and embrace the feeling of being hugged from the inside. Over the past 4 months, our concept has evolved as a result of market research and customer engagement. Our initial assumptions were that most people were familiar with the benefits of MCT and would be accepted by many demographics. Our survey data revealed that we were wrong, and most respondents didn't know anything about MCT. For this reason, we decided to focus our customer segments on people already using MCT products and people easily convinced that they would benefit from MCT use. While I personally believe that the market for MCT coffee is much broader, we decided it was a good idea to focus our message to the people that would be most receptive. This includes MCT users, health-conscious action sport and endurance athletes, and veterans dealing with chronic pain and PTSD. The other big aha moment was deciding on a long-term strategy for the company. When we first started, we didn't really have a plan for an exit strategy. Did we want to run the company for a long haul, continuing to vertically integrate and diversify? Or did we want to focus on being acquired by a larger company entering the market? After further discussion with mentors and industry leaders, we decided to focus on a strategy of being acquired. This means building brand awareness to the extent that we get on the radar of companies like Coke, Constellation, and Starbucks. Wind & Sea is cool, and you would be too if you subscribe to our mailing list and try a bag yourself. Thank you.
We are the Artificial Research Assistant team, and our goal is to provide underprivileged high school students with access to better research tools. Does anyone honestly like writing essays?
Oh, hell no.
No way.
No.
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 No. No. No.
No.
Nope.
No. Oh, no, no. No.
No.
No.
Well, that was an adamant response, but it's to be expected. When you take into account all the different search engines that a user has at their disposal, it gets a little confusing. You have to keep all your tabs open, you have to keep track of all the good and the bad papers, and then you have to go into these databases which are separate from the search engines that you had previously. It can get really annoying. Now let's channel that frustration and take it one step further. Think about all the other college students and all the other high school students that have the same difficulties every single day. To get specific, we're talking about just over 62 million students across public and private sectors, all the way from middle school up until college. And those same students spend approximately $6 billion on tutoring every year, 27% of which goes towards writing. Now, there are certainly sites that help students share documents with each other, such as Dropbox or Google Drive, but there's nothing that merges the search engines with these sharing platforms. This is why we are developing Ara, your artificial research assistant, which actually started out as a bunch of horrible ideas written on sticky notes on top of a piece of paper. Our first big learning moment came out of our customer segments, where we had lumped high school and college students together. We quickly found out, after 75 plus interviews, that college and high school students actually have really different needs. But we also noticed that there was an unsatisfied need to bridge the gap between the two groups. So we adjusted our business model accordingly. We also decided to do some paper mock-ups and ran 15 users through practice demos, where we received a ton of feedback, and made several changes to the product itself. The biggest change was actually a transition from a minus sign to a check mark. We know that that is part of the formula for determining how A students get A's and separate themselves from the pack. As it stands now, our product looks something like this. The user logs in, enters a hypothesis, enters additional keywords, decides which databases and websites to pull from, selects which articles to keep, and then produces an outline. Fast and easy. Nearly everyone we have interviewed has said they could benefit from something like this. And for each user, we have a different subscription model to fit their needs. The market is large, demand is high, and our overhead is low. We have the potential to be profitable 1 year out and extremely profitable 2 years out, which is why a percentage of our profits will go towards merit-based scholarships for underprivileged high school students wishing to attend college. In the next month, we will be developing both the front and back end. In the spring 2019, we will be testing. For anyone interested in joining our tester group, please email us at artificial.research.assistant@gmail.com. For any interested investors, please message Will Scott directly. Thanks.
Human beings are a tribal species. We are meant to live in family groups. This enables us to serve our individual needs as well as to contribute to society as a whole. Unfortunately, as the size of our cities increase, so too does our disconnect. On one hand, 11 million seniors are socially isolated, and that number is expected to double in the next 20 years. In fact, in San Diego alone, 1 in 5 people will be over the age of 65 by 2050. On the other hand, young families are struggling to make ends meet. 29% of parents are choosing to stay home due to rising childcare costs. However, with the high cost of living, it is nearly impossible to support a household on just one income. In San Diego, the average housing price in 2018 was over $500,000, while the average household income was only $60,000.
Our solution is Generations, a web-based service platform that allows stay-at-home parents to build a business and an income by providing caregiving and companionship services to seniors. We began by focusing on our 2 customer segments, homebound seniors and stay-at-home parents. We wanted to test our assumptions about what the seniors needed versus what the stay-at-home parents were willing to provide. We conducted over 240 face-to-face interviews and observations at various medical practices, and were kicked out of Kaiser Permanente, totaling over 60 hours of contact time. Then we began using surveys on social media. It was thanks to this data that allowed us to make 2 major pivots. The first, we learned that it's much harder to reach individuals, and we needed to partner with retirement communities, medical and social services to reach a large number of seniors. Our second and most important pivot was learning that our customer was not our end user. Our customer was actually busy working professionals who have senior parents who they are not able to care for as much as they would like. This completely changed our platform. Initially, it was a one-way platform that allowed parents to post their services. Now, we realize we need to have the parents post their services and allow for the customers to post their job requests.
Armed with this new information, we alpha tested with 3 paired families over the past month that have been able to generate community, care, and most importantly, a profit.
We'll be launching our first community in January 2019. Please contact us if you or someone you know would like to get involved. I am Anna Keneally, and this is Janera Quigley, and we are Generations.
Well, thank you. I would like to thank my classmates. I think we had a great semester. Thank you, everybody. And on behalf of all of my classmates, we would like to thank you, Priya, for taking us from thinking to doing and enabling us to launch. I'd like to welcome to the stage Professor Priya.
First, thank you all for being here tonight. And I want to start off this note of appreciation by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to our 2 graduate assistants, Janera Quigley and Andrea Lakier. Tonight would have not been possible without them. So if you think about the Torero Ventures Catalyzer, the story of the Catalyzer starts about 2 years ago. I was having a conversation with one of our students, David Jimenez Burgos. David, I saw you somewhere. There you are. So he's real. So David had then won the V2 competition, which is one of our most prestigious competitions. He had had lots of support and workshops and idea labs and lots of things, and he was our winner. He was our star entrepreneurship candidate student. And he was anxious, saying, Priya, I have this idea. I have money, people love it. I still don't know how to start building my venture. Where do I go next? What do I do? The angst in his voice made me think, if the star student of our entrepreneurship program, with all the support he has had, does not know what should be the next steps, where does that leave the rest of our students? And where does that leave us as a university and a business school if we want to continue being a top player in the field of innovation and entrepreneurship? And from my own research and understanding, I knew that David's fears were not unjustified. We know that over 40% of new firms fail, not because it's a bad idea, but because they were not solving a meaningful problem for their customers. And as if you look around you, the entrepreneurs here, and from the videos you saw, that no business pitch or plan survives first contact with customers. Okay. Now is a challenge. What do we do next? The good news was when I looked around me, I said, we have lots of positive things here at the University of San Diego. First is we have students who are passionate, who want to change the world with their ideas. We have faculty who are inspired to help students learn. We have staff and administrators who are willing to go that extra mile to ensure student success. Okay, so we got the people covered. Then we have USD has been traditionally known. We are well known for our liberal arts base. We have highly ranked professional schools. And most of all, we are embedded in the San Diego innovation ecosystem, which is one of the best, not just in California, not just in the United States, but in the world. Can we leverage what we have to create an innovation community that helps us, that helps our students address humanity's most urgent challenges to take us to Envision 2024? Can we teach them how to innovate with compassion? So what you see here today, it's a very soft opening. It is not, as you all know, it wasn't advertised everywhere. Very few people are here tonight. This is because this is the pilot test of an interdisciplinary collaboration effort. And what you see here, you see Jeff Teza at the back, my co-instructor for the class. Jeff Teza, raise your hand. He has spent countless hours with our students, co-teaching the class with me. Also from the engineering school, we have Venkat Shastri. We have Truck New somewhere here, who is a mentor for one of our projects, right? And I'm just going to look at this so I don't forget anybody. From the college, we've had a lot of consultation with Ron Kaufman, Mike Williams, JC, and Kevin McDonald. We have Eric Austin from the law school, who helped with his legal clinic, was helping our student projects. Karen Hankin and Rachel Christensen, who knows about the Catalyzer, we've been talking about it. Leah Hubbard from Seoul, Karen Hoyt from Hahn School of Nursing. Of course, our core team also consists of the Brink, Misty and her team, Jonathan Irvin and John Ossie, who worked very closely with our student projects. And most of all, we have our business school professors who live and breathe entrepreneurship. We have Mike Lawless, Maria Maskins, Amit Kakkar, and Regina Bernal, who are all here. They live and breathe entrepreneurship, an integral part of when we started this Catalyzer. I also want to thank our mentors from the San Diego innovation community, and I want to thank Julie Morgan for putting one of our students, for putting us in touch with many of these mentors. We have here, if you have a pot of flower, you are a mentor. You have a potted plant, you're a mentor, because you're helping us grow these ventures, right? We have Doug Brems, Jeannie Keating, Chris Griffith, Ann Connors, Kavita Pachu, Colin Blevins, Alina Oyela, and Nate Stanton. Thank you so much for providing our students with invaluable guidance at the right time. And of course, I want to thank my mentors, Thad Karras, who helped me design how to do this, continue with the Catalyzer. And I finally want to conclude with two important points. First is I want to thank my department and our business school and the deans, the deans. First of all, I want to thank our dean. I want to thank the associate dean, Steve Conroy and Barbara Luigi, and their teams, because what we are teaching here today is a very non-traditional course. It's a 4-unit course. You're mixing grads and undergrads, throwing them all in the same thing. We don't do stuff like that, but we do, because that's what works. So I want to thank you all for your support in helping us do that. I want to thank our dean for making innovation and entrepreneurship central to his strategy so we could move forward. And most of all, I want to thank Dr. Andy Allen for giving us the funds to make this happen tonight. It's an idea, but we need it. So thank you so much for believing in us. And before, one last thing. If you remember, your invitation said you are invited to be a catalyst. So there's a call to action. What's the call to action? This is just the beginning. We want each and every one of you. There are a few of you who are from the San Diego. So we have Ad Astra, some folks from Ad Astra. We have Sylvia Ma. We have Vidya Dinamani, right? They all help students, right? You help entrepreneurs raise money and invest. We have lots of people here who are from the San Diego innovation community. We want all of you to join us to grow this and make this program bigger, better, and more robust. And what you will have is also, we have a cell phone sleeve right there for those. If you're interested, this holds your credit card, the back of your phone. So you can have this. It has our logo. Thank you all for being here tonight. Continue looking at the student projects, and we close at 7. Thank you.